Sport fans, I'm Michael Sakala.
And I'm Brandon Wicker.
And how the hell are you?
We are coming live to you once again from Bellacino's, the home of the grinder. Pizza. The taco pizza, that's pretty good too.
Yes,
and
it is.
Cheap Bud Lights.
I'll tell you what, like the hat I'm wearing, I would eat it up like a shark. So.
Oh, you're trying to make reference here.
That's it. Shark, and I'll be swarming today. Hey, now I want to talk about a little story drama line that's been the headlines in the NFL about my quarterback, about Tony Romo in the speech. Do you give cheers or jeers towards this emotional speech he gave earlier this week? What's your thoughts on this?
Does nothing for me. It just shows me what I always thought he was, which was a good quarterback with a good head, and he's ready to move on.
Yeah, I do. I think it's amazing, though. I mean, here they are, the Cowboys themselves. They're 8-1, and then what do they do to add, to push that needle a little bit more? They throw this drama. They let him go out there and make a speech. I mean, this storyline's bigger than who shot JR back in the 80s. This is amazing that they're doing this.
I do want you to remember this now. They can go ahead and either let him go, or if he's still under contract, make a trade for him, and then you always have butt fumble in the background because Dak has problems.
You wonder. There is some questions. Do you keep him around? Does he want to stay around? Because you're right. Nobody wants to see Sanchez come running out on the field, and he's just. He's pathetic. But there are the three teams. The three teams that I've been reading about mostly are the Jets, the Cardinals, and possibly even, I guess, an outside chance are the Dolphins.
They're ready to give up on Carson, are they?
Well, I guess, with the Jets, all they're really missing, they got themselves...
No, I'm talking, you said Cardinals.
Well, the Cardinals, I think, kind of like the Kurt Warner syndrome. I mean, they're just a quarterback away, and I think Palmer's just not...
I can't figure out what happened to him. He set all kinds of numbers last year, and now he can't even...
I don't know.
He can't stop throwing 3 interceptions per game. So I don't know what his deal is.
I think the Dolphins are the outside chance simply because Tannehill's worth way too much money on that contract, and I guess, but again... There's another team that's just missing that one part, and their window's very small, like most. They got a couple years. They got to make a decision. If you get the right guy in there, you got a chance to turn that page.
I was just trying to think. I know 2 of them. I'm not sure about the Jets. I guess looking at the condition of Fitzpatrick, it's interesting. All 3 of those teams you named do not block well for the quarterback.
Well,
it would not be conducive to a Tony Romo. Standing in the pocket, completing passes.
Well,
sounds like another injury.
If he needs to be on a team that blocks very well for their quarterback, he may want to just stay where the hell he's at.
But look at the shape he got in with that team.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, it's a very rough sport, as we know. Cam Newton makes it a point to let us know during every post-conference or every post-game interview how tough and rough the physical game is, and it is. You just get hit. It's the whole idea, isn't it?
I never knew that until that boy came along. Thanks for telling me that.
And then, as we do every week,
It's perfect timing that you're going to jump into this, too. Go ahead.
The stinker of the week. And I'm going with the physical entire game itself. The 4-5 Rams played the 3-7 Jets to a 9-6 classic football match. That game itself, I mean, the quarterback play alone, you got Casey Keenum went 17 for 30 for 165 yards. He got sacked 3 times. And then Bryce Petty. And you may ask, who the heck is Bryce Petty?
Oh, no, I know who he is.
He's a 6'3", 230-pound boy out of Thomaston, Georgia, who got drafted in the 4th round in the 15 from Baylor. That's who my boy Bryce Petty is. He won 19 for 32, 163 yards. He had an interception and a touchdown. There was the one highlight in that entire game I will point out. Ex-Chicago Bear Matt Forte did have 20 carries for 98 yards. But other than that, we had a classic 15 punts combined with the 2 teams. And this game, I don't know. How does Jeff Fisher even have a job? Is what I'd like to know.
Okay, I don't go there with any of that. Obviously, that's his opinion, which he can have. I don't mind a good defensive struggle. What I'm categorizing as a stinker would be your Supergirl at home with Kansas City, holding a 17-3 lead in the fourth quarter, giving up 17 unanswered points and losing 20-17, and then turning around, almost repeating that this Thursday night as they let the Saints all the way back in the game and almost lost. That's pretty stinky.
I'm not sure the Panthers have completely. They just completely.
Did you watch the game?
A little bit, but they're falling apart.
So,
they don't seem to play like they did last year.
I was scratching my head over one thing. You were probably asleep by then. Late in the game, Kuechly got hurt, and I saw the play live, saw the replays, and his knee got bent over to the point where that guy, tough guy, was crying on the field, basically. You know?
Yeah.
And they hauled him off. And I'm looking at the report since then. I looked at the report before we came here today, and they say he's got a concussion. They didn't say anything about his leg whatsoever, and he had that knee get folded.
But didn't he get hit in the back?
Well, yeah. Well, he could.
Okay,
He might got touched, and he's been prone to that. He missed 34 days last year with that deal. But they said absolutely nothing about his leg. I don't see how you come out of a bend like that with at least a knee sprain.
I don't know. But
All they said was he's in concussion protocol,
and everything I read and listened to in the radio and whatnot, the reason he was so upset or whatever, at least I don't know if anyone was actually physically spoke to him about it, but is the fact that could this be, towards, if not the end of the career because of all these concussions he's had and things like that. And I mean, he's a tough man football player. He's the guy you want.
What I came away with Thursday night was, if anybody was wondering why the Panthers' record is what it is this year, he just had to watch that game. That told you why.
All right. So, what did we learn last week? Anything at all? Did you learn last week?
Well, it would have to be something new. I'm running down the list here, and I really don't come with anything super striking. The Saints had Denver and blew it.
No way to lose.
Yeah, it was terrible.
What about this? What is it? Is it time to panic in Green Bay?
Absolutely. I've been panicking. You don't hear me talk about it.
I mean, they lost to the Titans 47-25. Rodgers is forced to throw the ball 51 freaking times. They got a total of only 42 yards running from their running backs. Now
maybe we have a running back. And it shocked me.
Is Michael still the answer? I don't know.
It shocked me that they turned him loose. He could definitely be the answer for the rest of the season when you have no running back.
Yeah, I think the reason why the Hawks let him go is they got this young guy, this C.J. Poise or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
and whatever.
He looks like, I guess, he's probably just a younger.
And then they have Rawls coming back, who lit up the world last year, so they're confident. But I've been gnawing on Green Bay's defense since they won the Super Bowl. I'm just not a Dom Capers fan. Or at least the way he's doing his defense. And the same problem, it's the linebacking core. It's ridiculous.
I've also come to realize that I am complete mush. I go ahead and pick the Bears last week, and we all know what happens. They go ahead and get beat by the Bucks 36-10. Cutlet never shows up. He goes 16 for 30 for 182 yards. He gets sacked 4 times, 2 interceptions. And then meanwhile, Crab Cake goes for 23 for 33 for 312 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then to finish it all off, your boy, what's his name, Jeffrey gets busted for his extracurricular vitamin activity. He gets a 4-game suspension because he's he needs to get off the Flintstone vitamins.
She was actually proudly wearing his shirt last week.
I also learned that the Vikings have completely fell apart with their 4th loss in a row, this time to the Skids, 26-20.
That would have been the other thing.
Bradford had a good game. It's just there's no balance. They can't run the ball.
I don't understand what happened to their D. Zimmer is a D man. It was gangbusters, not fell apart.
One other thing I learned, because it was an incredibly exciting game with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys, is I do believe Tomlin's ego got in the way with these constantly going for these 2-point conversions. And if he would have maybe even just did half of them, they possibly could have won that football game. But I mean, from the fact that the end of the game was unbelievable. That fake kneel down by Roethlisberger for that touchdown, that perfect pass was incredible, and then for the Cowboys to come back and have Zeke do that 32-yard, breakout touchdown run. I mean, granted, I'm a Cowboy fan. I was excited, but at the end of the day, that was a really good back and forth, typical Pittsburgh Steelers, Dallas Cowboy football
I
game.
thought that you were an advocate of all those changes, and you,
Oh, I like it.
and you
It's
don't
just
want to see kicking anymore.
No, I like it. It's just that you would have thought after missing the 2 in a row, he was saying, all right, let's just kick the field goal and take the point.
He's done it all year. He actually started that game last year, trying to get better at that 2-point job.
The last thing I learned is that I think it may be safe to say Russell Wilson is healing. He may not be healed completely, but he's definitely starting to heal. He went 25 for 37. He had 348 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the Legion of Boom stops the Brady's 4 times on the 1-yard
When you
line.
beat the Patriots in New England, you've done something.
And I mean, are the Seahawks the best team in the league right now?
No.
You know? Are they also in a crash course to meet the Cowboys in NFC Championship?
Maybe.
Or is this just too soon to start saying things like that?
Not for you. Not for you.
No, I think we got some more football to play. People can get hurt. I mean, we see it week in and week out. So let's just hold off and put the brakes on all that. Let's just play week 11, which brings us to week 11. There's a couple decent games and whatnot.
I've got 3 stellar games I'm looking at. I got, obviously, Ravens, Cowboys. Another week with a set of birds going at each other, Eagles, Seahawks.
Yes.
And then the Monday night game.
Oh,
I don't know why it's being
Raiders.
played south of the wall, but
The Raiders.
Texas and the Raiders. I've got all 3 of those on my radar. I'm going to say I could wind up with egg on my face, but it wouldn't be the first time. I've got Ravens finally coming up with a defensive mix that shuts down the Cowboys.
Which I could see. They play. I mean, the Ravens. One thing they do is they play hard-nosed football, and if you can put the Cowboys in 3rd and longs on a regular basis, it's going to test Dak to see if he can pull that out. So yeah, I would definitely say that game's definitely going to be one to keep your eye on.
I've got Carson Wentz not coming out of Seattle alive. He's going into some hostile territory. Seahawks coming off a big win and going home to the 12th man. I see the Seahawks taking the Eagles out.
Well, then I guess I'm going to lose because I'm putting an upset alert. I think, just like the Birds did last week to the other set of birds, the Falcons, the ball control. If they can do ball control, because you can run on the Seahawks, I think the Eagles, because the way they play defense, I think they got a shot. They could possibly pull this off, go into Seattle and actually pull this off. But if you're taking the Seahawks, obviously we know I lost already because my head-to-head against you is just pathetic.
I'm not sure which way I'm leaning on the other one, the Texans and the Raiders. The Raiders are favored by 6. I don't know. Are they due for one of those games? They had their bye week, so they should be ready. I don't know.
Well, when I looked at this Texans-Raiders game, 2 things came to mind. The Texans don't travel well, and they suck in big games. Well, I don't know if you noticed or not, but they're traveling, and this is a pretty big game.
Well, so are the Raiders, so remember that.
So, to me, it's going to be it's going to just be like a typical Raiders football game it's been all year. Ground and pound. I think they're going to run all over that defense. 200-plus yards, and I think again we're going to be really impressed with Carr on the national stage. I got the Raiders winning this one 38-21. I think it'll be an exciting football game. It'll be nice to watch the Raiders again. Because when the Raiders are good, I think the league is good. It's just it goes kind of hand in hand. It is.
So
it is what it is.
For the last 14 years, the league has been no good, or what?
It's been high. It's been high. But let's be honest. When the Cowboys are relevant, the Raiders are relevant, it changes things. It really does.
Yeah, it makes you happy.
Yes, it does. I got a couple blowouts. I got Pittsburgh traveling to Cleveland. I'm not even sure why. This game, to me, the Pittsburgh's pissed off at the world. I think they will blow this one apart and blow out the Cleveland Browns. And really, you got the Brady's coming off of a loss, and they're traveling to San Francisco.
I feel sorry for the 49ers. No, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. No,
Not to mention, Brady himself, I'm assuming he's going to pull this off and win, he will tie Mr. Farr himself for the 2nd most wins at 199 in his NFL career. That's it. To me, if that's not motivation for him, then what else is? The only thing I got to tell you that, and I read up and looked up a little bit. Gronk is not coming with the team.
Nope.
He's got a
Punctured
perforated
lung,
and I looked up. Yeah, it's like that's lungs. I think he's going to be playing with that for the rest of the year. He's going to be basically in pain for the rest of the year. This dude just takes a beating, don't he? I mean, he's got that thing he wears on his friggin' arm. You know, he just gets hit constantly, and you wonder come playoff time, you know, how much of a factor he is. But I guess for the Braves, the good thing is, like Chicago does, they let their good players go. They have, that Bennett, the tight end, so he'll at least help them out in that sense.
So we can quickly mention a little bit of college real quick and get out of it because it's a mess.
Yes.
And outside of if you can call Ohio State, Michigan State a game this year, Ohio State's favored by 21.5. There's nobody that I see playing any worthy games today. They all got clunkers, you know,
they're
pre-puffs. You know, they're all gonna do that. And then I'm about to mention baseball.
Yeah, how about?
Obviously, I'm wearing this shirt. My boy won the National League MVP.
And I think he should have.
A shout out to Mike Trout for the American League MVP.
Do you think a guy though? I mean, obviously, I guess he's considered the best player on the field, etc. But when it's hard to imagine though that the guy gets the MVP on a team that's not very good. Is the MVP more of the most valuable player, or is it the best player? Which one is he? Is it the guy who's the most valuable in the player, or should it just be the best player?
There's a difference?
Well, I don't know. Is there? I mean, you can have a guy who's more valuable and a guy who's just better. I mean, here's a good example. I mean, I hate to go NBA, but last year Curry wins the MVP, but was he really the best player in the league, considering that there's a guy named LeBron?
LeBron doesn't even come close to him.
Really? See, if I was starting a team, I think I'd you know. Oh yeah, we're bringing up the
We're
race.
doing that. I'm not done yet.
Go ahead.
I got my man Gary here. He's salivating because Justin Verlander didn't win the Cy Young.
Well, you heard what his
But they traded away their Cy Young winner to Boston. So, you know, Porcello, give a shout out to him for the Cy Young, and then he had the other one, Max Scherzer, who won in the National League. So he actually had them both on his team at one point.
What about what Verlander's girlfriend had to say about? She thought she was the only one that beat him, but now apparently so does Major League Baseball.
She did not like that at all.
Huh?
She did not like that at all. Her man getting denied.
Well, listening to, I give him a shout out, Mad Dog on XM Radio. His thoughts were the reason why Verlander did not win it was because of his head-to-head record at the beginning of the year with the Indians. Apparently he didn't do so hot against the Indians, and he very rarely goes past the seventh inning, but I don't think any of them do anymore. I don't know.
But he used to go beyond that when he was throwing crazy innings.
Porcello got run support all year from Boston.
Yeah.
Verlander got none.
Right. That's true. He did have a high run support in his games. We have
one last thing. Now there is a thought in Major League Baseball. Will the Angels have the kahunas to put Trout on the trading block?
No way.
And if you did, what do you get for him? Is he one of the biggest trades that we will see in a long, long time?
Oh, they absolutely would be, but there's no way they do that.
But I mean, if you could get a whole, I mean, they're not winning with him. You could definitely get a whole new team and whatnot for him. I mean, look, and you know the team that would probably go after him, the Yanks. You would assume the Yanks or the Boston, one of them. Get a shitload of young players for him. I don't know. Is it worth it?
They would never let him
ridiculous.
go. They would never let him go. We have our NASCAR coming to a conclusion.
The race for the
in
cup.
Homestead, south of us here. I'm a little biased. I'm rooting for Johnson to win his 7th. I hate the format NASCAR uses now, but it's Kyle Busch, Edwards, Logano, and Johnson battling for it. I just don't believe that you run a 43 race season and you can have somebody sneak in just by winning one race. It's a long season.
Yeah.
And they used to reward you by the entire season rather than bits and pieces.
Well, I guess they, like all sports, they're trying to get, more people involved, so they thought this would, ignite some non-fans to want to watch because it gets exciting. There's a playoff, etc., and so on. Coming from someone, Do I pay? I don't pay all that much attention. I'm with you though. Been there, done that. Jimmy Johnson, you have to be. He's got to be the front runner in this just because of who he is. I did read though that Harvick won the poll, so it'd be fun to see who's going to chase him down with the 4 guys. You're going to probably think there's something serious wrong with it, but if you really want to make this whole race for the chase exciting, what about if you just had this race this weekend? Really, there's only 4 guys that we have to worry about in racing. How about just 4 cars on the friggin' track? How about these 4, that's it, on the track, and let those 4 race, because everybody else doesn't matter. Why the frig are they on there? Just like doing, you know what I mean? Just like our I-75. Get the hell out of the way. You're just traffic at this point. All you are silverbacks in the left-hand lane. Get off the road.
Part of the idea is to be able to manipulate your way around.
Well, guess what? How about party ideas? There's 4 whack jobs on the screen. You got the whole damn field.
Before you go
Race
down
it
left
off.
field totally, we would like to thank Tony Stewart for years of racing, because it'll be his last
Yeah.
race. I'm sure he'll remain an owner, but he's hanging up the steering wheel.
What, do you think he'll do like Speed Racer and every now and then come back and do a
He
race?
might, yeah,
do a little
for
celebrity race.
certain
Yeah.
tracks,
Well,
he might.
I mean, he's had a great career, and we got some
Absolutely.
new young drivers coming in and all that. But I mean, I'm telling you, I can't help myself. Imagine that, as big as that friggin' track is, there's only 4 cars on the field. It would be total friggin' chaos. Total chaos. It would be unreal. I think it's,
After this, we were going to try and maybe put together a midweek show next week for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Which would have Minnesota playing Detroit at home.
Yes.
Good luck for you there. Although Minnesota has proven now their defense is any better than anybody else in the league, or worse than Green Bay's. How's that?
But
of course, you get the big division game, Washington, Dallas.
And I think the NFL, hopefully they finally understand, if you're going to do the Thanksgiving game, there's really 2 teams that should be playing each other every friggin' year for Thanksgiving, the Cowboys and the Indians. How do you not have these 2 teams playing every year for Thanksgiving? Come on. It just makes sense. It's the only way they should play each other
If you're
every
a Cowboys
friggin'
fan,
year.
I'm staring at a Lions fan who gets to play every year, and I didn't see him shaking his head.
We know just from tradition, the Lions and the Cowboys play every year on Thanksgiving. But to me, Dallas should be playing Washington every Thanksgiving. It only makes sense that they should be playing that. It just makes sense. There's no other thing about it. Detroit, I mean, I guess until we figure out a team that makes sense, I mean,
We
should
should
always
play
be
in
division.
Green Bay every year.
Yeah,
On
he
Thanksgiving.
comes in here with this stuff, and you know damn good and well he wants to see Tampa Bay playing Cleveland this Thursday.
I mean, they
I don't
threw
get
in
it.
I know they threw in a third late game. I forget who the hell's the
Pittsburgh, Indianapolis.
That'll be good. Unfortunately, isn't it on the NFL Network? So I'll be
The
watching.
last one probably is, yeah.
Yeah, when Luck, he's not. They're just not doing so hot. So
Well, Luck's doing fine. Just the rest of the team.
Yeah, that's another thing with that whole team. That's a whole other episode. So, another weekend. Here we go. Week 11. Everybody, enjoy your football.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy thing. Well, we're going to do one on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
We're on
right.
Thanksgiving Day, and I believe,
I
if I'm not mistaken,
I wasn't sure you were committed yet.
we were dressing up. I think I'm
He
going to,
is.
somehow or another, I'm going to be the turkey, but if we can pull it off, we will have the grumpy pilgrim. We're
Yes.
pulling for the
I
pilgrim
can
right
assure you
there.
that's not happening.
We're pulling for the pilgrim. All right, everybody, enjoy your Sunday and have a great weekend. Thank you very much.
Go Green Bay.